So I want to talk about sig figs first. So I was looking, I made myself some notes. I thought that was a good idea. And I was thinking, when is the difference between 100 yards and 100 meters matter? And when does it not matter?
That's a good question.
I know a time when it doesn't matter. If I walk out my front door and I'm going for a stroll down the street, if I go 100 yards or 100 meters, I don't really care. If I go 101 yards or 101 meters, I don't really care when I'm strolling. It just doesn't matter. So in that circumstance, which numbers are the numbers that I care about?
Care about the first digit, the 1 in the 100ths place, because then you're strolling twice or triple or however much further you're going. So
right.
That's why that's the significant figure.
Right.
That's why significant figures are important.
Okay. So that one matters, right? In that point. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, the way I think about it too is if you're on the beach and you add 1 grain of sand to the whole beach, that doesn't really have an impact at all. It's so small. Or if a snowflake falls on your whole lawn that's covered in snow, doesn't matter. So it's the same scenario, you know? It's size relative to what you're measuring. And you can think about it in common sense. It's not too hard, actually.
What about if I have rather than talking about grains of sand, I think about little lumps of gravel, right? Little rocks, a little bit bigger than a grain of sand. A grain of a rock or a piece of gravel on my driveway, I don't care about. One that's in my shoe, I care a lot about.
Yeah,
right?
when
So
there's supposed to be 0 in there.
Yeah, exactly. There's supposed to be 0, and I've got a number a lot bigger than 0, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about if I'm another place I was thinking that 100 yards versus 100 meters doesn't matter is like if somebody's walking over there and I want to get their attention and I yell out to them, "Hey, what you doing?" If they're 100 yards or 100 meters, I don't care, do I? And so,
sorry, you go.
I was just going to say that's a place where it doesn't matter. What about a place that it might matter to me? Not one where. What about like making a peanut butter and jam sandwich?
Yeah, so if you have like, say you're using 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of jam, sure, that might sound like a lot. I'm not a big PB&J fan, but if you double, triple that, if you go into the 10s or the 100s place, then you've got way too much. And so that's too much. But if you add a little bit extra, that won't be too bad. So that's the whole concept of significant figures, really.
Okay. What about when you have to take some medicine? Does it matter then?
I'm not a medical expert, but I've heard that you're supposed to only take your prescribed amount. But if you're feeling really bad, taking maybe an extra tablet or half or a quarter of an extra tablet won't do you any harm, or to my knowledge at least.
That seems like really bad advice to me.
A quarter won't do anything.
In the Kevin Diaz philosophy, an extra 25% of your medicine is okay, or shorting it by 25%. That seems like really bad advice to me. However, I think that's going to get us where we need to go. In fact, if the counter looked exactly like it did 10 minutes ago, I would show you some things over there. Somebody's been making a mess on the kitchen counter here, so I'm gonna show you. I got some things for you to think about. That's why I need my phone.
Going on a trip.
Going on a trip. All right. Can you see that?
Yep.
Oh, I got to turn it this way, I guess. It's a shot glass.
Yes, sir.
And like every other shot glass that I've ever seen, now I'm not very good at drinking myself, so this is a little outside of my league, but nonetheless, every shot glass I've ever seen looks basically like that. It's a glass cylinder, and or it looks like this one, or it looks like this one, and I got one other one. How do you know? Well, for starters, Kevin, do you know how big a shot's supposed to be?
Is it? I forgot how many ounces it is. You mind reminding me?
Fair enough. Well, I looked it up. Apparently, in most places, it's 1.5 ounces. In Utah, apparently 1 ounce, but nonetheless, anyway. So it's 1.5. So there's my shot, and I say, is that 1.5 ounces? How's your estimation skills?
Seems a little short, I'd say. Not most glasses are filled a little bit closer to the top. I'm not too sure.
Okay, well, it just so happens that I've got some more, and I have another identical shot glass. Okay, now we're going to change perspective here because I don't have 3 hands, but fortunately Rebecca's here. So, Rebecca, if you would hold that like this, there's the view you're getting. Let's go to the speaker view here. We get the full view, except actually come around on this side. So there's light behind you.
Okay. Good. Is that all right?
Yeah, just bring it down there a little closer.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 ounce is 6 teaspoons, approximately 30 milliliters. So here's my teaspoon. I'm going to measure 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you think, Kevin? Can you tell?
Looks about the same.
Let's go to speaker view again and bring them in here right beside each other. What do you think?
Maybe the one on the right has a little more, but otherwise they're practically the same.
Yeah, it does actually have a little bit more. I put about an extra. When I made the first one, I put in 6 teaspoons, and then I took 1.5 out, so they wouldn't be quite the same. But it gets even better. Watch these 3 shot glasses. So here's the one that I just made. Put that one in there, and then we're going to go 6 into each of the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you say to those?
I can't really tell a difference since they're all different sizes, different types of glasses. All I know for reference is you put 6 teaspoons in each one.
Right. So if you go and you're getting a shot from someplace and they fill a little bit less or a little bit more, you have no idea.
And that's a huge difference when it comes to the stronger alcohol.
Sure is. Yeah. So those were some of my thoughts about when having gradations in your measuring container are useful, right? Having and knowing that your different size containers makes a difference in terms of how it looks, and this might be a place that a significant digit might matter. because you want to make sure that you're getting 1.5, not 1.3 or 1.7, or well, you might not mind getting 1.7, but you don't want 1.3 or 1.0 if you think you're playing for 1.5.
Yep.
So that's my story on significant digits.